Welcome to Michelle's Opinions. Today we're going to talk about mud flood, Petra, and energy, and how the pyramids and some of these amazing structures could actually be for free energy. Now let's get into some facts about Petra. Based on Wikipedia, Petra, originally known to its inhabitants as Rakmu, is a historical and archaeological city in the southern Jordan. Petra lies on a slope of Jabal al-Madah in the basin among the mountains from which the eastern flank of Araba Valley that runs from the Dead Sea to the Gulf of Aqaba. Petra is believed to have been settled as early as 9000 BC. Wow. And it's possibly established in the 4th century BC as the capital city of the Nabatean kingdom. The Nabateans were nomadic Arabs who invested in Petra's proximity to the trade routes by establishing it as a major regional trading hub. The architecture is absolutely astounding. I mean, these are built into the side of mountains. I mean, it's just beyond belief. And in the meantime, as I started piquing an interest in Petra, another man, his name is Lone Eagle, he began looking into mud floods. We're going to touch a little bit on that too, but I highly recommend that you go over and check him out because he's covering it pretty extensively. But look at the beauty and the detail in this architecture. And allegedly, we don't even have the equipment to even do this now, today. If you look at the man standing in the center, it can give you some scale to the proportion of these megalithic buildings that were built into the side of these mountains. They're just absolutely, they're so impressive and so jaw-dropping. It's just absolutely amazing. I don't know if it's in the Bible anymore, but Petra was mentioned in the Bible where people would run to Petra for safety. Something to think about. And here, yet again, another image of Petra. These buildings are just built straight into the side of the mountain. I mean, and there are so many. I have several more captures, but I want to get into a couple other things like mud floods and also the energy. So, and I'm trying to make these short, guys. So look at these. Absolutely. It's jaw-dropping. I just wanted to share this with you guys and find out what you think is going on. Now let's touch on mud floods. Do you remember the Sphinx being completely unearthed? I remember when it was just from its head up, that all this stuff was buried in mud. I have a theory on this. And like I said, Lone Eagle, and I'm going to put his link in the show more notes, is covering this pretty extensively. But if you were going to try to cover up history, maybe it's not that it was a mud flood, but maybe they were burying our past. Something to think about. Let me share a few more images on the mud floods, just so you can kind of get an idea of what we're looking at. Here's another image of the Sphinx. I wanted to give you another perspective. He has full-on feet. He looks like he's in pristine condition. Look at the chambers, how much space and room. Even look at the pyramids. Wow. Something happened here, and it may not be what we all thought it was. And what about Easter Island? This is how I remember it. And actually, even this guy with his shoulders exposed, I just remember it just being the heads coming up off the ground, out of the ground. Not anymore. Now let me show you what they look like today. Here they are, all lined up. And if you were to stand next to one, the proportion, these things are gigantic. And who knew that under the heads was a full body? I didn't know that. We weren't taught that in school. I have one more image I want to share with you, and then we're going to move on to the last topic. And here we have a foot. Does anyone get their shovel out and start digging and see how huge this is and how much we can unearth? Something to think about, guys. And we're going to talk about that in the conclusion here in just a moment. This is an image of an old church. Could these churches have been made for free energy? Could the pyramids be for free energy? I'm going to do a whole separate video on just that because there's so much to it. But I just wanted to at least show you guys that what are all these things sticking up out of the top? They look like antennas to me. They look like conduits of some kind. Some things that may have been in our past that have been buried. So, yeah. Is free energy coming back to us soon? In conclusion, looking at those structures in Petra, they're just built into the sides of mountains. The unearthing of the phoenix, the mud floods, which may not have been a mud flood. Maybe it was a burial of our past. The images of all of these amazing churches, were they actually churches or were they conduits of free energy? Did we have free energy in the past? Is that something that's coming back into our future? I'm going to leave Lone Eagle's link in the show more notes because he is doing a bang-up job of covering mud floods. And I highly recommend that you go and check that out if you're interested in that. But to me, it seems more like an unearthing of our past as a revelation, as the veil is thinning. I listened to the testimony of Beyond the Veil, and they went into the pyramid, the Great Pyramid. And when they were inside the pyramid, they saw at one end a plus sign and at the other end a minus sign, which is what we see on an everyday battery. So was those pyramids actually used to produce electricity for everybody? And was it free? Was it just pulled from the atmosphere and distributed out? Is this technology coming back to us? So much information is being revealed to us. What a time to be alive. And I know that we go down all of these rabbit holes, but these rabbit holes, although it feels like we're getting nowhere with them, the information that we are bringing back is very valuable and very useful for us to know where we're heading in the future, because we have the now moment. And in the now moment, if you just watch that post on the emergence theory, which is wonderful, everybody should watch that. It's absolutely wonderful. Answers a lot of questions, but then again, makes you ask a lot more questions. But that's what a good theory is all about. So, are we walking into having free energy again? I had that dream. I saw it. So here we go. I'm pretty excited. What a time to be alive. You guys have yourself a wonderful day, and always share what you know so we can listen and we can grow.